Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Podcast. Native Americans, or you could say Indigenous American Reparations. The global geopolitical aspiration or whatever. What they won't tell you. I'm here with Roy. I'm gonna let him speak. If you don't know who he is, he's a brother that used to be in what's considered the conscious community, speaking on reparations, and they shut him out because they didn't want reparations or they didn't like his conversation or did not want him to have the spotlight. It is real
Mm.
doctor do that. We give him the spotlight, let him speak. So I'm gonna shut my mouth. You got it, Roy.
Okay. So basically, just following up what the brother said, Reef Royale and the conversation of reparations is something that I've been having for since I understood what was going on, to our people and how far we were set back from, from the Jim Crow days, from prior to that, to the 1619 conversation, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, my conversation that I want to come back and have with you guys is basically explaining in maybe in a little more details of why representation, basically why representation for reparations is important. And at this point, it's a lot more clear. Like when I was talking with the community and from 2012 all the way on, the people are a lot more optimistic about society. People felt like, you know what, things are good. All we got to do is work hard. It was all type of things that was being said instead of pushing for reparations. Some of the people that you see as quote unquote leaders today or outspoken people that articulate their views about the world today, they were opposed to reparations. And, now at this point, they might have shifted their views or they just leave the topic alone altogether. And now you can see it's multiple groups, FBA, it's all type of things that were invented to kind of like, I don't want to say hijack the conversation, but rehash the conversation, and everybody has the right to the conversation. But at the same time, if we would have stuck to the topic from 2012 all the way on, we probably would have messed around. We already, probably would have received it already, or had the process started, or because um, after the pandemic or during the pandemic, did anybody change their status for those stimulus checks? Okay, so now you see billions of dollars popping up for war, billions of dollars popping up for data centers, popping up in different states, etc. Nobody changing their status, and even in New York City, we have a new mayor that just had a interview explaining that the difference of the economy as far as like white white people making $200,000 a year compared to black people making 20,000 a year. So I seen this a long time ago. It's not like it was a secret to me. I knew no matter how much you had these people pretending to be rich and pretending, okay, just because you made a little bit of money. A lot of people are selfish, so you just gotta keep that in mind. But I definitely want to come back and be able to break it down. I'm just in the middle of being a great dad, a great grandpa right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so I just wanted to just jump in real quick and just say we could, kind of jump into those, into the details of those conversations, but setting the premise of where we're going to go with the conversations, those highlights of the reasons why, because it's like at this point, that is the new oil. And when you look at, the financial difference, like when you see like, yo, you're gonna need help is what my point was. Like you're gonna need help because if if they're giving billions of dollars to other countries and then they try to double back and you hear all these brilliant people that break down how you need to, apply to do this and to do that just to get something that they already know is owed to you. is a bunch of foolishness or whatever. And yeah, so I appreciate you for taking a little bit of time out just to just so we could chop it up for a second and set it up for next week where I can actually relax and speak. What's up?
In hip hop culture, I'm gonna allow you to reintroduce yourself.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, just that we're gonna do that reintroduction, and this is the pre reintroduction for that conversation, and yeah, we could get into them. Pause, but it's definitely you can see that conversation has a lot more traction. It's become it went from being shunned and being and hated and neglected and to the point.
Look at what all they done went through. They like,
Yeah,
man, I ain't got no money. I need some money now.
now they
But
need the money. Yeah,
we're in a
yeah,
recession, like,
yeah, yep.
we're in a recession right now.
Even if they don't want to admit that we're in a recession, um, it's basically the makings of it. Again, when you have
Well, what's
you
the old saying? You ain't got a pot to piss in.
bro, it's in and it's not looking like that pot that pot that we looking to piss in is not even like they didn't change the pot completely. So the pot, you never even got the pot. They done moved on from to something else, and you still ain't got the pot or the boots. You ain't got the pot, the boots, or the acres, or the mule, and they giving the acres to the data centers, right? So you ain't get 40 acres in a mule, but they got 40,000 acres for a data center to destroy the resources of the land and the people. And it's just from the land, the air, the water. This is it's just ridiculous, So at the same time, people would tell you, reparations is impossible to do, but magically have the resources and the know-how on how to vote in something that is even more destructive to the community, etc. So it's definitely something that people now is a lot more obvious. Like the curtains are pulled back, you can obviously see that you have in every opportunity and every resource was available, still is available, and you don't have to jump through hoops. I understand the status correction and all of those other conversations, but in reality, they know what it is. You know what it is. You just can't be a coward, and that's really how I felt before. I felt like these guys are cowards and selfish cowards, and that's what made it really bad, because a selfish coward could care less about what how they're not empathetic to your life or your family situation, long as they get their little crumbs. And then because you can even see like a Mayweather, and respectfully, where he did everything they needed him to do, and they still coming after him. You know what I'm saying? They still banging on him, for the bread that he legally made. So here it is. There's people that don't have a fraction of what he got. You know what I mean? And then trying to pretend like I'm good. I don't need it. Like, are you joking? Like, are you kidding?
Well,
So
they'll hurt old boy. I mean, being friends with the enemies of the enemies of the, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah. You see what I'm. Yeah. You see, you know exactly what I know. What you're talking about. You see, and you know what I'm talking about. And so, and you see, he did everything. He put on a did the whole song and dance. Did everything they was talking about, and they still so that's why I'm like, yo, these guys sell us out and do all type of foul stuff, and they still get clipped. So it's like, yo, why you ain't just stand on business from the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's like, yo, just keep it, let's be realistic about what we dealing with,
Well,
and
you was somebody gonna stand on business, so I thank you for your time laying it down. Because, like I said, near future we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it properly where you can.
yes. All right, I appreciate that. Yeah.
So with that Peace and love.
Peace to the
Samuel.
people. Yeah, peace and love. Yep.
All right, y'all. Leave a comment if you're down for reparations. If you're not down, you can still leave a comment. Peace.